Alright, hi guys, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today I've got a special knife for you that cost $10 at Canadian Tire. So that's 10 Canadian dollars, and only my American friends who live close to the Canadian border or who have friends in Canada will be able to get one of these. With the exchange rate being so crazy right now, 10 Canadian dollars is like about 7 US dollars. Can you imagine a full tang knife, 6-inch blade, roughly, for $7? $10 Canadian is a bit of a steal, and it's enough to tempt some of you guys to buy this knife. And that's the only reason why I decided to get one. I'm getting one, I'm going to check it out, I'm going to tell you if it's worth 10 Canadian dollars. Normally it's 30, $29.99 at Canadian Tire. Canadian Tire number 175-6358-8. On their computer systems, it's called the Camp XL knife by Outbound. Outbound is a Canadian Tire brand. On the package, it says drop point fixed knife. And at the bottom of the page, 6 inches. Drop point fixed knife, 6 inches. 420 steel. I'm not sure if it's 420 or just 420 high carbon, or just 420 high carbon would be preferred over regular 420. We'll see. On the package it says 420, and that's what I think that it probably is. It comes with a ballistic nylon sheath, very low quality. Velcro, so low quality, this thing weighs 29 grams. Just over 1 ounce, the whole sheath. Let's talk about this knife, and we will then go outside and do a test of this knife. So I'm not going to do a tabletop look at this knife, I'm just going to show it to you. So there you go, Outbound. You've got a coating on here. It looks like undercoat on a car or truck bed line or something like that. It's a really rough coating, a lot like some of the coatings that Schrade did for a little while. The really rough, thick kind of coatings. I don't like such a thick coating. But we'll see if we can take these handle scales off as easily as it looks like we probably can. And in that case, you could strip this guy and have a clear steel blade with no coating at all. I've never stripped this kind of coating off a knife. I'm not sure how easy it is to do or how difficult it is to do. But if I find that the knife is actually useful with the steel, I might actually test that or try to do that, and I'll record it if I do. Let's talk about the measurements and the specs on this knife. We've got a cutting edge of 14.7 inches. That's right there. We've got a nice sharpener's sneak-up choil, actually, not a sharpener's choil, sneak-up choil right there. And then we've got 14.7 centimeters, which is 5 3/4 inches. And they call it a 6-inch knife because they include the last bit right here. The handle length is 13.6 centimeters, which is also 5.3 inches. The grip area is 10.4 centimeters, which is 4 inches. The handle thickness is 2.8 centimeters, which is 1.1 inches. The blade thickness here is 3 3/4 millimeters, which is 0.15 inches. Drop point blade, full flat grind. I already said it was 420 steel. Hard plastic handle, except for this gray area, is soft. I think it's probably a TPE or something very much like TPE. The total length of this knife is 30 centimeters long. That's a foot. 11.75 inches. Very close to a foot. The fit and finish, just looking at it, is fair. For $10, it's really good fit and finish. It feels good in the hand without doing any work yet. It feels like it's for a bigger hand than mine. I've got large size hands on the border of extra large, right between in North American sizes. That's 9 or 10 for European sizes. And my fingers don't fit into these choils very well. They're too small for that. And I feel like I want a slightly smaller handle. So this is, a big handle. If I put some gloves on, I'm sure that that wouldn't be a sense at all, but we'll see how it feels when I'm actually starting to whack on stuff and do a little bit of work with it. Being a full flat grind and starting off at 3.75 millimeters, it does have a little bit of flex to it. I can feel it. I don't know if you can see it on the screen or not, but I can feel a bit flex to it. Rockwell hardness of this, we don't know. They don't say. So we'll see how this thing works, how well it performs. It, feels pretty good in the hand. Let's see how well it cuts paper out of the package. I haven't even tried yet at all. I just bought it literally about an hour and a half ago. So from the factory, they sharpened it quite well. So that's a good sign. It looks pretty good. The weight, the balance point, it feels pretty good. Where's the balance point? Right in the middle of, the first finger hold right there. That's good. It's a decent looking, decent feeling knife to start with. For $10, this might be a good knife to get a few of and keep them in some strategic locations. If SHTF happens, yeah, SHTF, if the poop hits the fan, I try to keep the channel family friendly. Thank you guys for keeping the comments family friendly. I really appreciate that very much. There are a number of viewers who watch with their younger sons and daughters, so that's a really good thing. Thank you so much, guys. So we're going to go outside. We're going to test this thing. We're going to see what it feels like, and we're going to work with it, and we'll finish the review outside. So come along with us. Okay, here's how the sheath looks like on the belt. Not bad, but you have that Velcro, which kind of sucks, but then it comes out pretty easily, goes back in okay. For $10, no snap, that's fine. For $30, I'd like it to have a snap. Actually, it does have a tiny bit of a liner in there. Yeah, for $10 it's reasonable. Let's see how well this guy cuts. Let's do some testing with it. Let's start right off with batoning, because if that breaks this blade, we're done. It's a quick way to know what we got. I'm just batoning this really thin piece of pine here. It should do this very easily, no problem at all. If it fails this, it's a piece of garbage. Let's go a little bit thicker. You can see a lot of that black coating came off there. Let's go right through the middle of this. I'm estimating, let me put my finger across here. Yeah, that's about 2.5 to 3 inches across. There's a knot in there that it doesn't want to get started through. There you go. You can see it went through that knot at the beginning, took a few whacks, but it got her done. So let's see what this edge feels like. Feels pristine still. Actually, there's a little bit of a wave in the blade now, a little bit of bend right here. It's what I would expect from 420 steel. Let's hopefully you can get it in the close-up shot. I think you can see that little wave in the steel, about in the middle of the screen. Let's try a little bit of feather sticking. Works just fine for that. Let's try to strike a ferro rod with. I couldn't get sparks off the spine, but this little sneak up choil works just fine for throwing sparks. So I'm going to do my summary already. I've used enough of this knife to know what I think of it. If you are on a very tight budget and you want some knives that you have around in various places for whatever your reasons are, this knife is comfortable in the hand. It's got the softness so it absorbs shock, feels good. It's a good bushcrafter's knife for what it is. If you treat it very gingerly and carefully, it's going to do a lot of work for you. In case you don't know, Canadian Tire's sales, once the sale is over, they will let you buy it for another 7 days at that price. Make sure you get a flyer. Depending on who the employee is, they might give you a hard time, they might not. But I've got friends that work at Canadian Tire, and they've told me repeatedly, 1 week after the sale's over, you can get this for, or whatever it is, for the sale price. So there you have it. The 6-inch, full flat grind, full tang fixed blade knife by Outbound, a Canadian Tire brand. Thank you for subscribing, sharing, commenting, and remembering to cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye now.